Well, greetings, everybody. I was just thinking about the analogy between um, hungering for food and hungering for love, and it's pretty interesting, really. There's a lot of parallels. Um, I was thinking about how if we're hungry for food, um, you know, it's like if a person doesn't have enough food, or if they're fasting, if they choose to fast, um, so they're not eating because they don't have. If we don't have enough food, it's like okay, in a fast, the first few days are the hardest. It's like the body and the mind have to adjust to not having the enough food, basically. Um, and then after there's an adjustment that's made. It gets easier. The feelings aren't as strong. Um, the hunger pangs, whatever, and mental acceptance of that. Not struggling as much. And I think something similar happens with love. I feel that both of those are very deep hungers and needs that people have. We all need food to survive, and we all need love. It's a really important part of life. Um, it's like if a person, I don't think most people normally consciously choose to fast from love, or maybe they do. I don't. Most people don't normally choose, I think, to not have enough love, but they may. We experience that at times, or events may lead us to feel that way. And so I was thinking, it seems like that we'll go through a person can go through a similar adjustment period of being in a lot of pain, not feeling that need is being met, not feeling that they're receiving enough love from them, from the outside or from themselves, or just perceiving that they're not loved, experiencing not feeling enough love, not feeling loved. And so then it seems like there's an adjustment period where there's struggle and pain, and then denial, whatever it might be, anger, whatever. And then a person can go into a state of saying, I don't really need love. I don't need, just like the person that decides to fast, or the person that's starving to death, you know, stranded on an island with no food or whatever. Just a person that's doesn't have food available to them. There's a certain point that's reached where it's like you try to tell yourself, okay, I don't really need this. I can survive without this. I don't really need love. Um, push that feeling down, because we don't want to feel. I know I don't. I don't enjoy feeling that I really want and really need something that's not available to me. It's a really unpleasant, can be, if it's, especially when it's something really important and vital, in your life. And so it seems to me that there's a similar phase that the person can go through, and so that they can get to where they don't feel that need for love, or that lack so much. It's pushed down, or they're not thinking about it. And then I've noticed that, and just some reflections this morning about how a person comes out of a fast, the analogy I'm making here, where another thing too that I think was thinking this morning is pretty interesting is that my understanding is that if a person doesn't have food for a long period of time, the stomach actually shrinks a little bit, I guess to compensate in some way. And so presumably the opposite is true also, that if a person fasted for a long time or a person was starving, their stomach shrank, and then at some point food becomes available, they start to eat again, and that the stomach would again expand back to its normal size, I guess. I'm not an expert on that, but so that's my understanding of that. And I was thinking it's pretty interesting that there, I think there's a similar thing can happen with love, with our feel. So that if a person feels like they haven't had enough love, or they've gone through a long period of time of experiencing that, or there really hasn't been a lot of love from the outside available to them, or any, whatever the case may be. So they've had this experience of, or not able to love themselves, or both, whatever the case may be. But after a long period of experiencing that lack of love, or not enough, when love does become available to them again, or they're able to feel it or perceive it, or someone loves them, or whatever, again, whatever the details are of that, I'm thinking that, so I guess what I'm thinking is that just as the stomach shrinks and then expands again in relation to the amount of food that's available, I think that something similar can happen to us with love also, that if we don't feel that love's available to us, or not enough, that we tell ourselves we don't need it, it doesn't matter, we're going to be tough, we can survive without it, whatever, and it may be conscious, or it might be something that we just automatically do. And then I think that when love's available again, that our capacity to feel love expands again. It's like we open up to it again. It's available. So it's like admitting to ourselves, or I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I would say, I think this is probably true of most people, I will say I don't really like to admit to myself that, like I said before, that what I really need or really desire in my life is not available to me. It's an uncomfortable place to be, and depressing place to be. But then when what we need, whether it be food or love or anything else, I guess, that we really need, becomes available again, we can expand again. And then I thought about, and take in more, just like we can take in more food. I think if a person's coming off of a fast, I've heard, again, not an expert on this, but I've heard that they shouldn't just stuff themselves, gorge on food. They should ease into it gradually to let the body readjust to having more food available. And it's probably something similar with love as well. We want to open ourselves up to it, our capacity, and just let it. I don't know. This is just, I don't have all the details worked out, but something I was thinking about today, this morning, and so yeah. So our capacity expands again to receive. As we allow ourselves to receive love again. Of course, I guess part of us wants to just open up completely and just say, yeah, I'll take all the love that's available. I'm happy and willing to receive all the love that's available. But I think whatever works. I mean, it's easy to go from one extreme to the other, but sometimes maybe it's good to breathe and just allow ourselves to open up and make the adjustment, allow ourselves to readjust to the new situation. And anyway, I love metaphors and analogies, and that was just something that occurred to me today, and I thought might be interesting to say something about. So hope you found that interesting, or interested to hear any comments or observations that any of you might have on that subject. Cool, thanks. Have a great day.